So, like always, I am recording this video on the night of Friday, October 18th, and this will be uploaded and public on YouTube the next morning. So, if there are any extra roster moves or any other call-ups or injury updates that happen between the time I'm speaking into this microphone and the time the video is up on YouTube, then I apologize. We're not going to be able to dive into absolutely everything, but I do feel like there is enough substance to go out there and make a video like this. I wanted to title this one in a very particular way. Positive Habs News. There's a very particular reason why I wanted to say this. It's because if I wanted to make a video about the doom and gloom and how it sucks to be a Habs fan right now, we've already done that song and dance. We have already made videos talking about how the Patrik Laine and David Reinbacher injuries from that Maple Leafs preseason game absolutely drained the life out of this fan base. We had spoken yesterday about how Kaiden Guhle and Mike Matheson both got banged up, how Juraj Slafkovsky got banged up, how Kirby Dach is not all too great, how Nick Suzuki is now getting blamed for everything. This team, and not even just the team, but the fans that watch this team, everything is just kind of imploding in on itself, and it's tough to watch. It's very difficult to see Habs fans go out there and start talking smack about, oh yeah, Nick Suzuki, he's the problem, he needs to be better, he needs to be this, he needs to be that. It's been 5 games, and now Patrik Laine, Reinbacher, Matheson, Guhle, Slafkovsky, they're all injured. What's happening here, man? I get it. It sucks to be a Canadiens fan sometimes. But you know what? As we have learned over the past few years, the Habs have gone through this song and dance before, right? Slafkovsky hurt for a good chunk of his rookie season, Cole Caulfield the shoulder. We had other injuries to other guys throughout the years that were really significant, but what this all does, and I'm not saying it's a good thing, I'm not saying I want to see more Canadiens guys get injured, no, that's not the case. What this all does is it sets the Canadiens up for more hope in the future. It allows us fans to bundle up and pile all of our negative feelings together, kind of culminate everything into one and say, okay, we're going to get through this. We have no choice but to continue watching the Montreal Canadiens hockey team. And at a very basic level, it makes the team worse, which will better their draft position. And maybe 2024, 2025 was not supposed to be the year that Habs fans were still looking forward to a top 5 pick. Maybe by this time they were supposed to be contending for a wildcard spot. But, I mean, look, it's just been 4 or 5 years since the Habs made the Stanley Cup final. I'd say this turnaround is pretty reasonable when you look at the bigger picture. And besides, all of the doom and gloom aside, there actually are some positive Canadian stories that we can go out there and talk about. Not just because of the draft, I'm kind of being double-sided with that. We can talk more about the draft by the time January or February rolls around. We'll get a better picture as to where the Canadiens are in the standings and where they'll project to be in the draft rankings by then. But all injury talk aside, there were some very good prospect showcases out of Habs guys in the NCAA earlier today. Starting out with Michael Hage. He scored a really beautiful goal against St. Cloud State earlier, and it was a really important goal. It allowed the Wolverines to go up 2-0 in the third period. Michael Hage ends up stealing the puck from the St. Cloud State guys on the boards as they're trying to clear it out. He ends up moving into the middle of the ice. He's got such a lanky stride. He's like Jack Eichel out there. Cuts into the middle to get around the defender there, forces his drive over in front of the net, cuts in on goal, and then goes over to the backhand. Oh my goodness, what a nice, nifty, Jack Eichel-like goal from Michael Hage. The mitts on this guy. Oh, baby. The funny part is, Michael Hage has been totally dominating for the Michigan Wolverines. We had been saying this over the past few weeks here. Now, if you take a look, he's at 7 points in 5 games played. He has scored a goal in each of his last 4 games. And the only game where he didn't get a goal, he got 2 assists. So he really is one of the top Michigan Wolverines in terms of overall point production, and when you look at guys who happen to be rookies, he ends up taking the cake too, because he's right there. Michigan has had a pretty good start to their NCAA campaign thus far, and Michael Hage has been a very big part of that, contributing the most points on the team. So, obviously, that's a great story. We like to see prospects doing well. The Wolverines are playing off against St. Cloud State once more later today, so I don't know, maybe we'll make another video about it. Who really knows? There's a lot that goes on in the NCAA world that we can pay attention to. But first game on Friday was a 3-0 win. We will see what happens in the next showcase later tonight. But I also wanted to talk about some of the responses to this because, you know, NCAA hockey, it's not the NHL. Everybody kind of recognizes there is a difference in caliber of play, but there were still Habs fans making a few comments. Can you play 30 minutes on the second line? I'm asking for a friend. Yeah, okay, that was posted on the Canadian subreddit. You could see people replying here. Oh, can this guy actually play for the Montreal Canadiens now? Because their second-line center, that spot kinda needs a refuel. Hype train for Hage is leaving the station. Y'all grab a seat while you can. We're on the way to Russia to pick up Ivan Demidov. Get in, loser, we're going shopping. I love it. You know, October 3rd was just a few days ago, right? On Wednesdays we wear pink. His game reminds me of Eichel. He's not Eichel, but he seems to have a similar style. Maybe he is Eichel. Have we ever seen them in the same room? Meanwhile, it wasn't just Michael Hage that had himself a really good yesterday, Friday, October 18th. He also had Jacob Fowler with the Boston College Eagles system going out there with a 20-save shutout. It's his second shutout in 3 games to start his second NCAA season. And this one was also very, very good. You talk about Habs guys in the NCAA dominating the crease, I'd say the last guy that really did that to a significant capacity was Cayden Primo. And look at what he's doing now. He's kind of disappointing in the NHL. Okay, well, we can hope that Fowler exhibits a higher learning curve than Primo did, but either way, Fowler at this point in the season has 3 games played, a 1.35 goals against and a 9.45 save percentage with 2 shutouts in this total 3-game sample. He had a shutout in his first game against the Michigan State Spartans. He had himself the 4-3 loss against the Spartans later on, and then he had himself the shutout against the American International College team, 5-0 win for BC. That is yet another feather in his cap to start out this NCAA year. Now, if you go over to the collegiate scene as a whole, it's kind of difficult to fully acknowledge and analyze goalie numbers, especially at the beginning of the year, but right now in the NCAA, Jacob Fowler is one of the top guys in overall save percentage. He's actually 12th overall. And that's kind of why I say it's difficult to really project these guys, because so many of them are so high up there, and so many of them have so few goals against at the beginning of the year. It's kind of tough to really look at this. We're going to have to iron this out more so as the season goes along. Also, big shout out to look at that, eh? Top goaltender in the NCAA, 4th overall, Owen Say out of the University of Notre Dame. Yeah, if you've been tuning into this channel for the past few years and you tuned into our streams, you know exactly who Owen Say is. That's a great, great throwback. Glad to see him doing well. Like, literally doing better than some top NHL prospects well. Anyways, back over to the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, you know, like, this is where we can focus our attention on, folks. All the bad that goes on with this team, all the injuries, all the guys getting hurt, and everybody that we expected bigger things out of. Sure, it's totally terrible that Patrik Laine and Reinbacher and now Guhle and Matheson and potentially and Slafkovsky are maybe going to be missing time, but, like, I mean, look, just in the prospect side of things, there are guys doing well. Even in the Laval Rocket, we didn't speak about this, but take a look at this tweet from Renaud Lavoie. Alex Barre-Boulet, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, +2. Josh Waugh, 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points, and a +2 versus Syracuse. We had made the video just yesterday, 24 hours ago, about how Alex Barre-Boulet reportedly was interested in getting claimed on waivers and leaving the Habs and getting another NHL opportunity. But he didn't get claimed. Now he's in Laval, and he just had a 4-point night. Crazy. Lots of good stuff to go on with the Montreal Canadiens, right? So maybe this is just me trying to compensate for all the bad that has been tossed out there recently, trying to toss some positivity out there into the world. Let me know in the comments if it actually worked on you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.